Okay, let's start with what's probably the most popular category. 1440p mid refresh rate, like your trusty 27-inch 144Hz plus monitor. And there are two monitors that I highly recommend. The Dell G2724D and this monitor from Acer that has a terrible name. I just put the full name on screen. I'll also have international links for each monitor in the video description. So both the Dell and the Acer are 27-inch IPS monitors, and they both usually can be had for roughly $200 US. And both of these are such a great value that it usually doesn't make sense to spend more on a monitor in this category. It's actually hard to find IPS monitors that have substantially better response times or better colors than these two, even if you spend quite a bit more. And between these two, honestly, just pick the one that's cheaper in your region. These two are so similar that it typically doesn't make sense to spend more on one or the other. The response times are very similar, both are virtually lag-free, and you can get great colors from both of these monitors by changing just a few settings. Both are great picks, really. I would, however, just ever so slightly prefer the Dell if you're often using your monitor in a dark room. And that's because it has a lower minimum brightness and a slightly better contrast ratio. Another good pick is the Asus XG27 ACS. It's a bit more color accurate out of the box, and it also has slightly faster response times, but on the flip side, it's usually more expensive than the other two. If you can find it for like 10, 20 bucks more, it can be worth it, but I wouldn't really spend much more. Now, if you like watching videos or movies on your monitor, the AOC Q27 G3 XMN is my number one budget pick. It typically goes for 250 to 280 US. That's a bit more expensive than the others I've just mentioned, but that's money well spent if you want to make use of HDR. Because this monitor actually has a VA panel with a mini LED backlight, which gives it serious HDR capabilities that you typically don't find at this price point. The biggest downside with this monitor are the response times. The IPS alternatives I've just mentioned are faster and have less smearing, so these are a better choice if gaming is your priority. But the AOC is still a capable gaming monitor if you're not super competitive, and when it comes to HDR, it just wipes the floor with your standard IPS monitor. Now, if you're really into competitive FPS, you should probably consider a 240Hz monitor. My top pick here is the LG 27GR83Q. It's fast, it has great colors, and it doesn't break the bank as you can often find it under $350. It has a 1440p IPS panel with fast response times and low input lag. And you can set it up to be pretty color accurate too, especially in the sRGB mode. Unfortunately, it's not always available at that price and also not available in every region, so I have two alternatives from MSI and Gigabyte linked down below. At the same price, I'd go with the LG as it has the better color accuracy and also supports hardware calibration, but I generally recommend going for whichever's cheaper in your region. As prices for 1440p monitors crumble, it's getting harder to justify buying a 1080p monitor. From a value for money POV, only a few 1080p monitors still make sense, and those are the ones that offer good performance around the $100 mark. My top pick here is the KTC H24T09. You can usually find it for $100 US, sometimes even less, and it's pretty wild how good it is for the price. It has a 165Hz IPS panel with good colors, and the response times can keep up with the fastest IPS monitors out there. In case the KTC isn't available in your region or more expensive currently, the Kure 24E3 is another solid option. It's worse in the color department, but it's still a great choice if gaming is your main priority. 1080p monitors that are more expensive really don't make much sense anymore. Like the Mobius EX240 used to be one of my top recommendations, and it still is a great monitor, but around $160 currently, it's hard to justify when you can get a really good 1440p monitor for just a few bucks more. It's a similar story with 1080p 240Hz monitors really. From a value perspective, these are kinda hard to recommend. Like you're looking at prices around $250 for good models, and that would get you two KTC 165Hz monitors, and you still have some money left for a decent dual monitor arm. One of the very few monitors I'd actually still consider in this class is the ViewSonic XG2431. just because of its excellent backlight strobing capabilities. But then again, 240Hz 1440p monitors are also in arm's reach, so if backlight strobing isn't something you need, I'd rather spend a few bucks more and upgrade to 1440p, or save some cash by going with a 165Hz model. So yeah, these are my budget picks. Everything's linked down below, and I'm also gonna make a video about the best monitors you can buy if budget is less of a concern. I have that video linked on screen as soon as it's live. Thanks for watching, bis zum nächsten Video.